Start with your name, age, and where you were born, then, please.
So I'm GhostedN1. I'm 24 and I am born in Birmingham.
Nice. What do you do for a living?
Right now I've been out to put all my bags into mixing and mastering songs. So trying to find clientele to just make that be the income. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was pushing other things.
Okay. So what got you into that?
I started doing music because of like, you know, when you have to go into college and stuff, there was nothing that I really gravitated towards. Music was the only thing that like I had the inclination to.
Okay.
So then I started doing music because of that. And then I started making my own music. And then as I've learned how to do my own, it's like, I'd prefer to have make sure everything I'm doing is more music related than having to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So at least me learn how to mix and master, that I can help other people do their own songs, and then I can still be doing music. So I'm still in something I enjoy doing, rather than having to work like, you know, like a normal job or something like that. So that was the aim.
Income, then?
Yeah, trying to be.
Okay. Did you do anything before this, or?
I was bartending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't like that?
It's not that I didn't like it. It was okay, but obviously I prefer doing what I'm doing now rather than the bartending. But it was alright. Like I was pretty good at it. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about your music. What type of art do you produce?
I stay mostly in the hip hop area. Right now it's been more drill. It's not drill lyrics. I just like the BPM and the way I can like craft drill beats.
Okay.
So the way I can like the instrumentation and like the 808s, I really enjoy the way they sound, because you can be really creative like with it, and like I don't know, it just makes sense in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can go down to slower BPMs at times, but usually more drillish, because I feel like I can be more creative with flow as well. I feel like the slower it is, the more not casted, but I feel like it's harder to create something. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because like it's already in motion from people that have already done it because of how long the reputation of that like genre's been. I'm able to be more creative and I guess implement more of my own style.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what type of lyrics do you write?
So right now there's been two distinct patterns. I either have one where I'm telling not a story, but it's personal. So it's more on like self-growth and journeys. I feel like that's probably the best way to put it, you know what I mean? And like expression. And then the other one would be more lyricism, usually based on like a topic. So to give you two examples, the last song I put out, it's not a drill beat though, but it's called Attempt. And the premise is like, what attempt are you making throughout your life to push what you want to do, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter like whether it's musically or not, just in general, what attempts are you putting out and creating so you can chase the things you want to do. But then the freestyle I've got coming out later this month, it's more WWE references. So it's like, can you catch all the references I'm saying at the same time? So it's like duality of doing both, because those are the things that like keep me. It's true to me, I guess. You know what I mean? It helps me stay with it.
That's the best thing for art, I think.
That's what it is, yeah.
So where do you get your inspirations
from? See, as of now, it's kind of hard to say, because as someone that does music, I don't listen to too much music. Does that make sense? Like, I try and create more, do other things. So like, especially now I've been creating, I'm like trying to push my own and other people, especially mixing, mastering. Like, I've seen kind of like a decline in my own listening. So right now it's kind of hard to say. Granted, no, I found out, not found out, but I came across I don't know if you like bossa nova music.
Okay.
Which was so like that's been pretty cool to like kind of listen to, because it's different and it's not something I've like really been exposed to. So coming across, I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice to like listen to and like maybe possibly taking influences from.
Yeah.
But growing up, it would be different. Like I had a big skin when I used to listen to a lot of Eminem. I really enjoy listening to Cadet before he passed. I enjoy Koji Radic when he put something out. K Tronada. Listen to a lot of Nas. Like I've had a lot of old school influences as well, because both my parents are like 80 heads, so they've been listening to old school hip hop. So I've got like that influence, you know what I mean? So there's like and then family's Caribbean, so then there's obviously a bit of reggae that's like an influence. And then I've also enjoyed like fast-paced EDM, so like bass line, I really enjoy it. So I've had like, it's like varied throughout the times, you know, as I've like grown and changed. So it's hard. That's why I'm like, it's hard to say right now because there's been all these previous things beforehand, but as of right now, it's more not limited, but it's more stagnant because I'm like pushing other things.
Focusing on yourself.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Okay. So, what makes you want to grab the pen and start writing?
Usually it's actually the instrumentation itself, like the beat. So if I create a beat, because I produce my own stuff, if I hear words that come and I start to freestyle to it, then I can make something, then I usually just go with it. And then like I realize after the fact what I've created. So I don't averagely start off with the intention of creating something or like a premise.
Okay.
It's more so I go with whatever I feel when I'm listening to the beat. And then like as a retrospective, I can then be like, oh, this was based on that, or this is for that. Does that make sense? I guess it changes a little bit if it's more like I said with the wrestling one, because I feel like I do kind of go, okay, now I have something to go off. But when I made like Attempt, for instance, that wasn't like the thought process behind it when I was doing it. I was just doing it, and then that's what it is. I got another song called Cooperative, and in the tone, like the moment, that wasn't the thought process, but that's what came out when I look back and I like analyze my own lyrics. I go, oh, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, where the instrumentation takes me as I'm listening to it and if I can write to it. Because there's also been a beat I've made recently and it's like, I like the beat, but I can't write to it. Like there's nothing that like clicks.
You know, it's for somebody else.
Yeah, that's kind of how it makes me feel. And it's kind of a shame because I like it, but it's like, I've been coming back to it for like 2-3 months and there's nothing that like sparks, right? Where then I made another beat like 2 weeks ago and then like I've made a song out of it. So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's being able to monitor, it's like, oh, I might not be my one for this one. You know what I mean? But that's how it goes, I feel like.
How do you deal with that creativity sometimes if you can't quite pinpoint something?
Usually I give it a break, honestly, and then it'll come back if I can, and hopefully I get to finish it. That's usually probably what I usually do. You know what I mean? Because there's only so much you can, for me at least, I can keep coming back to it before like you get a block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try and create as much as I can. If I finish it, I do. Then if I can't, then maybe I just come back to it a later date, or hope I can. Maybe it just gets left in the archives. You know what I mean? Like Grey Forces is very interesting.
Yeah, well, you never know. It might be 6 months and someone else goes over.
Yeah, so you know, never try to put too much pressure on it right now, especially because when I was in college, I went to a music college, so every day was about music. There was never not a moment about music, and like someone that you think you want to do, but it's actually like counterintuitive because it's too much music. There was never like a break to go do this, do that. It was always something related, and it kind of drained and took the fun out of being creative. So like since then, I'm way more mindful and cautious of like how I'm conducting it, because in that time period, I had of like a lot of producer block and a lot of like up and downs, and I was scared for that to happen again, especially now like music's something I want to pursue, like and do. So it's like I'm very cautious and mindful because I want to be able to sustain it. I don't want to burn out and blow out and have like nothing, because I feel like that's the worst thing as like an artist that you can kind of have, you know what I mean, like to have a long period of not doing something, especially in my shoes where like I'm trying to create something. So it's like this is like my first year of putting out my own music, so it's like if I was to have like a long break now, it would mess up the flow, you know what I mean, because I'm trying to get my name out there. I'm not established enough to be like, yeah, he can come back and like whenever he comes back and then people are gonna flock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just make sure I can stay consistent, and so far it's working out for me quite well personally.
You stay consistent.
So at the beginning of the year, I actually wrote out a plan which was meant to help out because I've already got songs like predated that I should be doing. So I try and release something once a month. So it should be like one song, the audio, and then the next month should be the music video, and that should be like the process. Stuff. Obviously, you make plans and they change and they fail like very often. So I still keep that same sentiment. It's just kind of changed the way I do. It's more free form or easy flowing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then since going to the events, that's also added like a different dynamic of the flow, because then it's like there's multiple things to be trying to balance at once. You know what I mean?
So you've been performing live.
Thankfully, yes. Woo! It's it's amazing and it's daunting at the same time. So I started this at the beginning of this year, so 2025, and I started doing it, and it was nerve wracking at the start completely. To be honest, like it's an experience because okay, like I said, I've been producing for a while, right? So I've been putting out remixes of like songs, themes, games, and like that's been fine, but it's like what's the best way to say it? A remix isn't personalized to my own expression. So for me as well now, like I'm putting out my own music, which is me voicing my own opinion for the public to digest and dissect and then think about. It's like that's a daunting thought in itself, you know what I mean? Because that's like a vulnerability.
Yeah.
So then having to get through that is also being like that was like a big for the first couple months like hard to try and do. But it's been great. It's helped me quite a lot actually. Helps out for confidence wise, helps you lead to other things, and it reassures me that this is something I should be doing. You know what I mean? So like, it's been really good. I shout massive like shout to like Cupid, Industry Spot, and Sunday Best because they've really been helping me like because they're at events that they did. Yeah. So being able to so being able to go to their events and like do things has helped me out a lot, you know what I mean? And then be a part of the community and you see familiar faces that are also in the music industry. It's like, it's nice to like be involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like-minded people.
Yeah. And just be around more music. So it's nice.
So you played with a band?
Oh, that's when you saw me on them, No Waps.
Yeah. What's that like as a difference to the beat?
The beat. So that's the first time I've actually done something like that.
Yeah.
So it was nerve-wracking in the sense of making sure I pick the correct song I know I can do on any type of beat or any type of BPM. Because a lot of the songs, especially like the drill ones, because I'm like being so creative, like the flow can sometimes be choppy.
Yeah.
So then it's hard to try and think how to implement it without like the cues I usually do because I know the beat like in and out, you know what I'm saying? So like some things wouldn't work, and then if it's a fast song, it's hard to do it on a slow song. So the song you saw me do, which was Attempt, I can do that on any BPM so far it seems because I know how the structure works.
Yeah.
So it was nice to do it with a live band. Watching it back, it came out really well as well. I like the beat that they created to do it on as well. Yeah, it was nice. So it was nice, interesting to have a different take on doing something like that I've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was actually quite nice and fun, honestly.
Do you prefer it or?
Didn't prefer it, but didn't not prefer it. Does that make sense? Like I'll definitely do it. Yeah, it's a different vibe. Like I'll definitely do it again, and I'm planning to do it again. But yeah, it's just fun, and for me, it's like another avenue to just try out, pursue, and see what I can or can't do. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm really trying to do in this time period, like what I'm creating. I'm just trying to be as many events as I kind of can be, get as much time on stage as I can be, and just do as much as I can when I have the time. Because like to me, that would help the growth of like what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to just be around, be about, and hopefully it leads to other things. Which so far it has been. So hoping to just continue and just hopefully expands. You know what I mean?
When's the next one?
I know this is going to be an event Wednesday because they do the bump. So if there's not something going on at Pirate Studios, because Pirate also run events on Wednesday sometimes as well, then I'll probably likely be at the bump. That's in Digbuff. So they do 2 events. One's on the first Wednesday, which is an Orcs event, and then they do a second on the third Wednesday, which is an open mic. Okay. And then the bump's obviously every Wednesday. So those are nice events that I know every Wednesday I know I've got something I can be doing somewhere. So that's like really great to have, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So what kind of vibe do you prefer, Birmingham or Wolves?
Honestly, so far Wolves. I think the reception's been a lot better. I think people in Wolves so far have been less, what's the word? Competitive or stush. I feel like with people in Brum, it always feels like interacting with it, unless they kind of know you personally, it feels like it's a lot less. Like everyone has like not an image to uphold or like it's just stush. That's the only way I can really like describe it. You know what I mean? Like everyone's a bit standoffish, and it's like in my mind the way like I feel like if we're at a creative event, we should all be being a creative, we should all be expressive, and we shouldn't realistically be holding back. Because what's the point of being in an event? You know what I mean? We should all just be supporting each other and enjoying what's going on. And then after you leave, say do what you want. You know what I mean? But for me, that's how I feel like in an event. Like if you enjoyed something, make it be known, make it be noise. And like for me as well, it also helps. Say if I'm gonna perform, being interactive with other people's acts beforehand as well also helps me feel more confident for them what I'm gonna do, because I've already got into like the mindset of being where you need to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should all just be more like just supportive and just outgoing with you. You know what I mean? Not
show up a little bit early and watch the other acts.
Yeah, when I go to an event, I prefer to watch the whole thing and be there the entire time, because I don't know, it just makes catch the vibe, and it just makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like I obviously want to do what I want to do, but they're also in the same bracket as me wanting to perform and show. And you never know what you're gonna see or what you might not see. So it's like I try to get there when at least it starts and be there until it finishes, just to take in everything that's happened, be supportive, and just catch a vibe. You know what I mean? It's nice to be in an event. You know what I'm saying? For me, at least, anyway.
Any other artists that have caught your eye from them spots?
On the spots right now, see, there's so many people that you meet and then you don't exchange names properly. Okay, when we went to the NoWabs, I really enjoyed watching Bianca, which was the host.
Yeah.
She was really good, actually. That's the first time I've seen her do what she does. Priscilla Cameron, I enjoy when I see her go for her when she sings. I really enjoy her singing voice. Who else have I seen that really like makes me it's hard, you know what I mean, to pinpoint. I think that's all I have right off the top of the head right now. But like there are people that you do see and you recognize and you go, yeah, I can't wait to see you do what you're gonna do, you know what I mean? It's a good time.
What's that vibe like for you? Like
How you mean?
get from that?
I guess maybe feeling like you're in a community, I guess, maybe. Like I said, I just like to be at the events, embrace all I can. Because for me, it's exposure as well to things I wouldn't necessarily listen to. And I used to that as well. There's a guy, I forgot his name now, but he sings and he goes between like country and then he does like really like heavy death metal, like But
I'll find it.
Yeah, I enjoy watching him because he's giving me exposure to something I don't listen to in my own personal time. Like, especially like when he does the death metal. Like, to me, I'd only hear that type of music if I'm playing like a video game, for instance. You know what I mean? And then it comes on, I'm like, all right, but I enjoy it in that moment, but I don't go out to listen to it because then it's not usually my thing. So then hearing someone else do it live, hearing it, it's like, oh, that's great. I remember I was at a pirate event and there was a woman and she was singing in Arabic. Now that's the first time I've seen someone sing Arabic live. So that was also like nice to hear because it's a whole different vibe to what we used to. Yeah, you know what I mean? And she had like a guitarist playing with him at the same time. It was just like, this is really different, but it's nice because it's different. And it's like, it goes against the grain of what I've been seeing. Because usually it's more like hip hop, R&B. That's what you get. So when people are a bit against the grain, it does kind of stand out because it's like you're not doing something I've seen someone do. I see do often, so it sticks out. You
like that cultural difference in music?
I suppose so. like my natural instinct is like no, but it's like in the event if someone does it, I'm gonna be locked in. I went to the neighborhood, which was on Monday in Digbuff. Was it a week or two ago? And it was like an Afro fusion theme, and like I don't really listen to much like Afro beats or Afro swing, so that was nice. And I remember the main singer, I was like really enjoying what she was doing because once again, it's not something I naturally listen to, and she was really into it. And that's another great thing when you watch performers, like when you can see that they're like enjoying what they're doing, it makes you, at least for me, enjoy it more because it's like you love what you're doing and like you're really owning what you're doing. So then like it portrays and it comes across, you know what I mean? Because she was like dancing and singing at the same time, and it's like it's great to see because it's like you're enjoying what you're doing, so we enjoy it more. And then if it's different to what I'm used to, it's like it's really nice, you know what I mean?
Did you pick up any of those things for your own performance?
Somewhat. The most thing I usually watch is how people move on stage. But usually for my own stuff, I try and record and then watch what I've done and then analyze what I think I can possibly do better to improve, rather than because we all do different stuff. Yeah. So I try not to go, or I've not seen anything that I'm like maybe I'll implement that. It's more just like where have they stood, how long did they stay in there for. Same with like comedians, you know, like how they pace across the stage, but then they hold a presence and then they hold a position for a certain amount of time before they move. So it's more just try to get that down a bit more and feel like, yeah, get down a bit more and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm doing that all right. I don't think I'm not doing it. What's the word? I don't think I'm doing bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just obviously something. Yeah, there's always something to you can be improving on. So,
So, do any world events contribute to your artistry at all?
not an average, no.
More personal.
It's more personal. I try and stick out of world events and or like political issues because I feel like it's not. I'm not really into it, so I don't feel like it's my place to say, especially if I lack knowledge. I don't want to talk about something that I'm virtually have no knowledge on. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me to voice an opinion that I don't even know if I'm fully with or for against. So it's like I gotta just stay out of those, and I try and push more things that are like for self-improvement and like into personal for each person that we could all learn from. You know what I mean? That's usually more the direction I stay in so far.
Yeah, your parents creative in any way?
Don't think my mom was. I think my dad did do music when he was a lot younger. I think around my age. But they both used to probably still do listen to a lot of music, so it's always been, I guess, an influence around with music. I also to divert from that, I also learned to beatbox as well, so that also adds in like a way for creativity for like me doing music, because beatboxing is a form, right? Yeah, it's just so that like I'll do the you know, yeah, do you know Reggie Watts? Yeah, I'll do what he does because I really like that one. It's the because he did that on the Russell Howard show like years back. For whatever reason, I just love that, like the way he does it. Because then he has the. I used to want one of these. They had like I forgot what they called now. Like the machine, and you can like beatbox into it and create your own song. Okay, so he made that for like different channels, and then he would sing on it. He was singing on it over as well. Well, for whatever reason, that always sticks to me because it was just hilarious, and I like the like thing. You know what I mean?
Have you used any of that in your own production?
I created a kick and a snare. I haven't used them in a while though, just because I'm trying to mix them. The beat needs to be specific for me for it to make sense in the beat. So like certain sound selection sometimes it doesn't really work. So I haven't used it in a while, but I have done it previously before to create. Yeah.
What really makes you want to sit and produce?
As of right now, my producing has took a step back because I've been way more focused on performing, putting out my own music, and then audio engineering, which I'm really trying to hone in on. So that's trying to take up like most of my time. So right now, if I do produce, it's more like I've told myself I need to produce because I haven't produced in a while, rather than like because it's like I need to try and get back into it. Yeah, literally. Because like I do this thing which I've been doing for like the past 3.5 years, roundabout, where like I say, I'd remix a song, and it was like I'd do it once a month, right? So I'd remix it, put it out, and it'd either be like a drill beat, a Jersey beat, or a drill Jersey remix. But I haven't done that. Like I've missed the last month, maybe month or 2 months. I don't know if I'm gonna reach this month either, because obviously I've just been priorities have now changed on it. So it's like I want to get back on it so I can stick to myself, and that's something I've been doing. But it's also like everything else kind of it's not more important, but like you know what I mean, it's prioritizing. So trying to get back into it slightly, you know what I mean, and then put it out. But
you find it difficult to try and juggle all of these things together?
Tad bit, yeah, because each craft takes a different mindset, like, and a different type of like energy to be consistent with. They all like flow, like mixing and mastering and producing. They're both creative things to be doing, but they're both slightly different in how you're being creative. Like with producing, you're being more free because it's like your own expression with a bit as well. Whereas like with the mixing and mastering is you're being creative, but you also have something you need to do something. Does that make sense? So like, for instance, you've got to make the vocals, you want them to sound a certain way when you know how you do your stuff. So you're trying to find that sound to make the vocals sound the best. So there's creative ways to do it, but it's different. So it's like, if I'm usually doing one more than the other, they usually one takes place the other than everyone's trying to say. You know what I mean? So they don't usually work at the same time. Either I'm mixing and mastering or I'm producing, they're kind of like separated because of how I deal with them, yeah.
What do you prefer to do?
I think right now, definitely probably the mixed and mastered. Yeah, is like I said, what I'm trying to create for having steady income, and I think I'm pretty good at it. So I've been trying to just try and get more clientele to do that. Producing is also fun, but it's usually like for me as well. I'm not necessarily producing with the intention to sell or for other people as much either. So it's like that also changes the dynamic, you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm not looking for clientele with that. If I do it, I'm usually just doing it for myself, for my own song, rather than I'm looking for someone. Which you could say you should probably start trying to change that, but it's not my current focus. So it's on the back burner, you know what I mean? So mixing and mastering, I feel like I enjoy more currently because it's more linear as well.
If someone wants to purchase your beats, would you be happy to do that?
I think I would. It would be interesting, obviously, setting up the invoice and trying to create a price for it because that's not something I've like thought about and or really been trying to do. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. It would just be trying to find someone that would fit or like work with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So what do you really want to get out of your art?
Right now, I just like to be established and making income enough to live where I don't have to do something else. You know what I mean? So like, if I could be sustained from putting out my own music, really selling beats and mixing and mastering, I'd be pretty happy and content. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far I'd want it to go, but as long as I can do that and live, I feel like right now that sounds like the best thing that could be happening. You know what I mean? Have maybe a paid gig here and there. But yeah, I feel like I'll be happy. You know what I mean? Sounds ideal.
You don't like worldwide stardom or anything?
Yeah, worldwide stardom is crazy, man. It'd be so. If I got it, I would accept it and I'd take it on board because you'd have to. But the idea of it is, I think the way social media is, everyone's too like into people's lives, and like that's not personally what I necessarily like. You know what I mean? Like GhostedN1. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be out of the way, so it is something which is music's helping me to learn to be a bit more open with that. But it's like I think people just get a bit too locked in. They watch a bit too much and like they know too much about your life, and I think that's just a bit odd. Like, I'm not trying to say you should separate the artist and the art, but I feel like kind of should. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if someone bumped up to me and was like, "Wow, when you did this when you was talking about when you're like 13," I'd be like, the idea of that would be crazy to me because it's like, it's weird. Like, it's admiration. One could say, and you should be happy to be like, "Oh, I'm glad you like enjoy what I do enough to know that." But it's also like, that's crazy to know you know that about me, like, and we don't know each other. Does that make sense? Like if I never met you right now, I'd never know that, and you'd never know. You know what I mean? But if it was to occur, then I just have to rock with it and learn how to deal with it. You know what I mean? I'd find out and try to figure out how to like work with it. But yeah, it's not that ideal. It's not an ideal for obviously. But
And so, what are your thoughts on social media in general?
I think it's a great tool depending on how you use it. And I think the way the industry is right now, from the music perspective, you kind of need to be on social media to keep relevancy, I guess. I feel like especially starting out, once you're established, you kind of do what you want, don't you? But trying to build up to it, you kind of need to, which once again, it's a bit awkward for me because it's like, I don't necessarily like that. I prefer to just kind of do what I need to do and then just bop off, you know what I mean? So trying to create like your own community or like fan base and maintain it is a bit of a hard concept, especially when it's like creating content which would be engaging, because it's like I feel like when you make like skits and whatnot, like you can find your angle. I think it's a bit easier to gain engagement rather than with your own music, because I feel like you have to start implementing other things to draw people in to make it work. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know, but work on it.
Do you think it's all about the music nowadays, or do you think you need that presence?
I think you need more presence than you need kind of music right now. Because I feel like if it was always about music, people that are saying stuff that are like really profound and stuff, that should realistically go first, right, or go up. So I think here's a bit of both, you know what I'm saying? But consistency is usually the main thing with everything, right? Like, as long as you're being consistent and chasing and following up, hopefully something should stick or give at some point, you know what I mean? So it's hard to determine, you know what I mean? Especially, I guess, where I'm stood at, because I'm trying to find out how to do it. So it's like I don't have not a blueprint, but you know what I mean? Like a way that's succeeding. So just figuring stuff out, I guess.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
See, I don't have an answer for that because I'll be honest, I don't usually look that far ahead into stuff when it comes to plans. I kind of not go with the wind, but I take what's immediate first and then I go forward, you know what I mean? I think anything's possible and you can be anywhere, but I don't usually look that far. I just focus on what can I do now, what can I push now, and like what's important right now, and then just take on, you know what I mean, what's required.
So if you could just get one thing out of your art, whether it be money or influence, what would you prefer?
See, that's difficult because realistically, obviously, I want both, preferably, obviously, because I want to be able to do music full time, which means you would need money, financial backing to be able to do that, but you'd also need influence to be able to bring in money. So it's a hard thing. I think all I'd wish right now is just success. That's all I can say in one way. You know what I mean? And just hope it goes well because it's something I would like to really do. Not many things in life I can say like I definitely want to do, but music something I'm like I definitely want to do. Yeah. So it's like that also is like what's something that like pushes me to keep doing my stuff because like there's something that's always just like you want to do this stuff. Like there's been other things that you enjoy doing, but you want to do this. Like you want to be involved in this. Like so yeah.
What's the worst thing you could be involved in?
How you been? In what context?
Work-wise.
I don't know if there's a worse thing I can be in because I'd say I'm adaptable. So if I was in a situation, what do I need to do? And I know in that situation, I'll be doing what's required. So I wouldn't necessarily be kind of burdened. Does that make sense? So like when I was bartending, I always knew like this wasn't what like the end goal is what I kind of want to do. But it's also like I know I'm doing this because of the money and because like it helps me create or gives me access to do the other things that I need. So like I kind of am able to separate like situation to like what's needed. Does that make sense? Okay. So like I'm never usually too bogged down if I know there's like a main reason or a purpose behind something, you know what I mean? I mean the only thing that I could probably say is like if I had to stop doing music, that'd probably be the only thing right now that I feel like would be like the biggest toll if like I had to stop like everything for like unseen circumstances or something. I think that would probably be like, because like I said, this is the one thing I want to do. So to have to like stop the dream, I think that'd be the one thing I'd be like, you know what I mean? It's a bummer, ain't it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not ideal.
So how often do you write?
I want to say not often, because it's very situational based, and like I said, it's like a spark thing. So like I'm kind of pushed and navigated by what do I feel like I need to say off my chest, I guess, or like is there something bothering me? That's usually where a lot of my music has stemmed from. It's like what's like a core thing for like expression because I don't necessarily vocalize what I do a lot. So like music gives me the avenue to be like, this is something I'm feeling and I can get it out. So yeah, so it comes and goes. And like I said, now I'm prioritizing doing events. It's kind of took a back burner because I guess I'm in a different like mindset with where I'm at. So it varies. On that note, though, I did write something like within the last 2 weeks, but it's very here and rare. That's another reason why like I want to space out what I do properly because it's like I know for me because I enjoy music, but it's like trying to force it doesn't work because I've been in that. So it's like I need to allow myself to have time to flourish and do it and not feel pressured or restrained. So then I can keep going. Because if I was to be like I need to put something out every 2 weeks, at some point I'm gonna burn out and it wouldn't work. Or my the the quality would drop. You know what I mean? Like there's something. So it's like I try not to have too many restraints, just main ones, and then push forward. You know what I mean? Mm.
So, how many songs have you written so far?
So on my phone currently, I made a playlist of all my songs and or collabs. And I think there's 17. So yeah, it just be ordering them to put them out, I guess. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, have you got anything dropping soon?
Yeah, I've got a freestyle coming out on the Frey Vision, which should be I think the 19th of this month, which is going to be the premise is just WWE references. So catch how many references you can kind of get in there. The month after that, and that would be what, August. I should have a music video coming out for a song I've got called Rejoice, and then after that we're gonna I'm gonna have to do a new plan, and yeah, see how it goes. So I'm gonna have to plan something out soon for the after Rejoice. But at least now I've got like 2 months, and I've got stuff going on to drop, and then I'm gonna figure out what I want to put out afterwards, and then probably song video, hopefully. But
You're producing, writing all this yourself as well.
Yeah. So everything I've put out, I've produced, I've written, and then I've mixed and mastered myself. So it is ideal because then it's like I'm not relying on anyone. You know what I mean? And I can just let however I want to sound. You know what I mean? So it is it's fun or nice, however you want to word it. Like,
Does any of that art come from internal pain?
Yeah, of course it does. I feel like for all creatives, I feel like that's that at some point you're gonna have something that's stemming from pain. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's also why having a creative art is like necessary, and I feel like it should be mandatory for each person for that, for one of many reasons, right? To express whether it's pain, whether it's joy, whichever emotion it is, and then just to allow yourself to be creative. You know what I mean? I think we should all have something that allows us to be creative, and you don't need to take it seriously. You don't need to be wanting to be the best in the world or to put it out there. But I think we should all have something that allows us, aside from everything else we do, to just be creative, be free, and just flow off in some way. You know what I mean? So yeah, music does for me help me do that if there is pain, to be able to express. You know what I mean? I put songs out. When I was a bit younger, there was a time period where music was doing that. And when I look back at the songs, I'm going, yeah, that's crazy. Like, you know, because you look at yourself from a retrospective, you're like, yeah, I can hear it. Like, you can see it. You know what I mean? And then I also like it for when I mix and master songs for people as well. Because usually when I listen to music, I hear more of the instrumentation more than I hear lyrics. But in that scenario, obviously, I'm focusing on the lyrics more than the instrumentation. So then, like, I'm allowed like a personal preview of like someone's perspective before it's like released to the world, which is also kind of like nice, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're being expressive, I'm being able to do what I want to do. So,
So on a whole, what does creativity mean for you?
Creativity for me is, one could say maybe a right for self-expression, which I think every human should have. Because it allows you to grow, allows you to nurture yourself. It allows you to express something you may possibly not be able to or want to through communication with people. It allows you to watch progress, because you can see when you started off how you were to where you are now. You know what I mean? Like, I want to take something I did when I first started out, and right now it's like a complete compare and contrast. So at least in my shoes, it allows me to show like growth and change. And I think it's just needed, you know what I mean? We should all need something just to, not as like an escape, but just a way to take your mind off something or express it in a certain way. Because we don't all do certain things the same way. Especially if you don't have something that's allowing you to do that. Like, especially like you don't play like a sport, for instance, because you can take out quite a bit of energy in sports, you know what I mean? If you was to do something like a martial art, you can take out quite a lot of frustration or start like expressing that way. So it's like, if you don't have something like that, I think, and you don't communicate, you should definitely have something that allows you to get that out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I agree with you, man. Do you think kids should have to do these things at school?
How you mean, like to be creative and?
Yeah, just some way of expression.
I think they should be shown it for definite, because it will allow them to have things in place that they know they can do throughout growing up and then into adult life. You know what I mean? Because I feel like childhood is your biggest growth part. You know what I mean? If you miss something out in your childhood, it's going to play up in your adulthood, regardless of whether you like it or not. And then you're separated with like, do you realize that this is now a problem and you learn how to be better and try and beat it, or are you completely blinded? You never realize, and now you're stuck in a way that you're untold. So I feel like they should be given the tools to at least know that they have outsources or resources to be used. So then when they do get to a stage, they can use it better or for themselves. You know what I mean? I think that is one of the hardest things, and I think it should also be taught. It should be it should be individualized in the sense of they should be shown multiple ways they can do something into one clicks, because there's many lessons to be learned but there's many different ways to learn it. You know what I mean? And we're all different learners. So like, you need to, if they could find how the child, even just for education as well, but like they click, it would make things easier because they're in a way they know, oh, this works like this for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Same way you can tell people like 1 and 1 is 2. Some people might need to see 1 and 1 is 2. Some people like, you know what I mean? There's different ways to say that answer. This is the answer. But there's different ways to work it out. And like, that's, I feel like the most important part. Because if you know how you can work something out, then you can find an answer. I know how I run personally. So I know how I can find my answers because I understand how I function. But it's like, it takes a lot of nurturing or self-growth to realize that, especially if you've not been given it. Like, it's not like shown like, oh, this is how you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it is a lot. So definitely children should have it, because then they can grow into it, and then it's easier for them to have resources because they know what they're doing already.
How do you feel if your creativity is taken away, you can't create? How does it make you feel?
To be honest, I can't even fathom the idea, like, because when it's like, what scenario am I in for that to be taken away, like completely? You know what I mean? Like, I can't fathom a scenario where there's not any way I could do something creative in it, like an inclination. So it seems implausible, especially because I can beatbox and stuff. So I'm like, I feel like I'd find a way to do it some way where, yeah, it's just foreign and it's alien to think if something that you have would just be completely gone like that. It's like, I can't imagine it being gone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, like, do you suffer with any type of writer's block, or a time where you can't quite get something that you really know that you want to do?
Yeah. For writer's block, not necessarily. Like I said, my writing's being reduced now, and then if I do, I just take a break and then come back to it at a later date. Or usually I know maybe that's as far as like what I want to say extends to. Ask me the question again. Sorry.
Do you? How do you feel if you can't express your creativity? I probably should have said it that way.
Now that would be, I guess, was it detrimental? Because that is, for at least for me, that is like a big thing for me. You know what I mean? It is one of the main and the key ways I do get to express. So if I was to have it repressed or restricted, it probably would creep up in some form or way that would be then probably become to negatively impact or influence my decisions and who I am as a person. I'd hope eventually I would come back to it, and then I'd have, which would probably be music that would then express everything that I've just gone through. Yeah, I'd love to be another avenue. Or maybe, like, for me now, I know I like to game. Gaming's also been something that's been like a part of my life since I was young. So in the event that there was no music, I would be probably gaming. So like, I'd be gaming like, yeah, that's a definite outlet for me. So it was always music, gaming, and sports. Especially because for me, I live life sober. I don't smoke or drink. I don't have like any of those things. So like for me, those are very like needed, because it's not like a kind of an outsource that like numbs it. You know what I mean? It's only if that's not there, then I'm just me and my thoughts and whatever's bothering me. So yeah, gaming, music, and then sports have like always been something that the three that I dabble in between, which are also ironically the three things I've been like, well, minus music, but I was like, I'll probably go into one of them because they are like have heavily been an influence or impacted my life. You know what I mean?
What sports?
Used to play football, mate. Football. Wanted to be a winger, like who else didn't? And then, and I was playing left back, and I hated it with my whole life. But I'm great at left back when I used to play football. Honestly, I know, like it's one of them. Was like it's funny to know you don't like it, but you know you're great at it because it's like. But yeah, I had great like knowledge field wise how to intercept. So like football was a great part before I stopped. You know what I mean? And then.
Was that just because you wanted to focus on music?
Nah, it was actually kind of against my will, you know. I was in a team with a bad manager and bad people, and like they sucked the fun out of football for me. Then I took like a year break, and I went back into it because of how long I took. I don't think it was a year actually, but I took a break, and then because of that break, and I wasn't playing in between, so then I lost like my touch, and then obviously my stamina, and like certain things, which then once again like reduced the enthusiasm for it. And then the team I was in, there was a lot of favoritism, and I was not a part of the favoritism personally. So then that also knocked it down. And then yeah, eventually it was just like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So then I quit and then stopped playing football. And then every once in a while I creep in because I got friends that everyone's always like, they're always like, you should do football again. I'm like, because like it's like there was a lot in it to like have to stop. So then to come back to it, it's like, especially because up until that point, football was something I believed I was going to do. So then to have to quit it and know like I'm never gonna do it again. Then the idea of playing it casually was just like, what's the point? Because like that was an aspiration and goal I had for it. So I was trying to like juggle it. But right now I'm not. It's not as fresh. So like I'm not as negative about it. Like if someone was like, "Yo, you want to go?" and I was free, I might be like, "Yeah, all right, let's move around." Especially because I started playing this game called Rematch, which is football based. So that's kind of bringing it back into me. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because the football brain's starting to kick back in again. Where yeah.
Choose one, music or football. You just had one choice. What would you do?
Right now, I'm leaning music, man. Music, yeah. I mean, all the hard work it would take to get back to the level. I don't think I've reached the level as that, but for football, be long, man. And I mean, if you do make a professional, that's great and grand. You know what I mean? Be a millionaire, whatever, and then like retire, and then maybe you could go do music. But I don't know. Music just sits. It sits right with me right now. It is where my head says I should be at. You know what I mean? Like everything. Yeah, it's the passion. Everything tells me I should be doing music. There's not something that like deviates. Sometimes I think to do other things, but it's like, no, you know, you want to be here in this lane, doing something related to music. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll lean hard into music.
So if you could go back to an 8-year-old you, what would you say?
I wouldn't say anything.
No.
Not. I won't say fortunate, but I live in a mindset of no regrets. So I kind of understand everything that has happened has allowed me to become the version that I am. And personally, I love the version of me that I am, even if I can't see myself all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm happy with where I'm at, and like the journeys and the things I continuously take to become a better version of me. And I know all those things that have happened they shaped me. You know what I mean? Even like I wouldn't undo anything that's been done, even everything that's negative, because like then I wouldn't be this version of me right now doing what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, I feel there's like a lot of things you gotta like really like add up. So like I feel like if I was to do something and change that, then this reality I'm in right now would be different. And I'm like, who would I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily worry or try to worry about like who would I be or what would I be or da da da. I'm just like, what's right now? It'll live now. You know what I mean? And ironically, I have a song where I have some like a lyric similar to like that the whole sentiment. But yeah, I don't know if I'd say anything to him. You know what I mean?
Just watch him from the side.
Yeah, I think maybe I just watch him. You know what I mean? It would be interesting to interact, but I think I just gotta let him do what he does, whatever that age. You know what I mean? Because he's gotta do what he's gotta do and figure out, and then he'll lead back to this version of me, which I'm enjoying so far. So, you know, personally, I'm enjoying this version of me. So, where am I? So, yeah.
So, is there a piece of advice that you've received through your life that you'd like to pass on to the next generation?
I feel like one singular thing is hard to pinpoint. I'm gonna think of what lesson would I say. There's a lot of things in certain areas that you could determine to be the correct thing. You know what I mean? Like for me, like the whole not living with regrets thing. If that was something people could live with, I think that would help out because it's like you just accept what's happened, you move forward, and you learn how to deal with it. You know what I mean? Could also say follow your gut and follow who you are, stay true to you because that's very important. You know what I mean? Making sure you're not getting swayed or being peer pressured and something you don't want to do. Making sure you're not falling in the wrong crowd. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's something I've done. Like I've been even throughout the stages. I think I've always kind of been true to myself. And it's now that I'm older and I'm allowed to like allow myself to express like it's able to grow. What else could one say? Don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? Or at least don't do them in your teen years when you're going through something hard. That's how you gain dependencies. Personally, that's how I've seen it. You know what I mean? When you're going through your hardest struggles when you're a teen, and if you start drinking or smoking, that's usually when people become drinkers or smokers because you've now built a reliance. You're gonna say, I can quit, man. I'll quit whenever I want to quit, but you don't quit. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. It's like a cycle or a habit you come back into. So there's like many of like bits and pieces and things that I'm still finding out about myself, and I'm hearing from like you pick up from hearing other people say. So it's like hard to say one single thing. I'd be like,
still young now, bro. So
yeah.
It's just a generic question.
Nah, I get it.
Just for a bit of perspective.
Nah, I get it.
So if other people wanted to find you for any mixing, mastering, producing, or even to look at your songs, where can they find you?
I am GhostedN1. So just Ghosted, the letter N and then 1. I have an orange logo with GN1 in, so very easy to find because it's the same on all platforms. If I'm not there, then I'm not there. But if you see those two things, then you know it's me. I'm most active on Instagram, so that's usually the best way to like message me. Don't have a Twitter. I have TikTok, but I usually just repost, like post something rather than I'm really like actively pushing. So like Instagram's definitely the best spot to like find me. I mean, we communicate through Instagram to set today up, so you know what I mean. So Instagram's definitely the best bet for me. Yeah.
It's been great, man. I want to thank you for your time.
No, thank you for.
I wish you all the best.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, man.
Wicked, bro.
It was great.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
We're not that different. We're not defined by age or race. We're not that different in any time or any place, brother. Believe your hustle and your grind, sister. We need your voice, so don't be silent. Slide.